All right, let's talk about something that's going to completely reframe one of the most talked about companies on the planet. We all think we know Tesla, right? The company that pioneered the electric car. But what if that was just the warm-up act? What if their real mission is something way, way bigger? Something that could literally reshape our entire economy? I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This one idea challenges everything we assume about Tesla. For more than a decade, we've watched them completely upend the auto industry. But what if the EV was never the end game? What if it was just a stepping stone, a necessary part of a much grander plan? So yeah, that leads to the big questions, right? Why on earth is a car company suddenly building a humanoid robot? It feels like it comes out of left field. But here's the thing, this isn't a pivot, not at all. It's the destination they've been heading towards all along. And the timing? Well, the timing is anything but random. It's a direct response to two massive crises that are unfolding as we speak. To really get why Tesla is betting its future on a robot, we have to start with the challenges facing its first big idea, the electric vehicle market. You see, the revolution they kicked off is now running into some very real and very powerful headwinds. There are three huge cracks starting to appear. First, the competition is just exploding. You've got companies from China like BYD and Xiaomi, plus the legacy giants like Volkswagen and Ford, and they're all flooding the market with new EVs. Second, all that competition is crushing profit margins. To stay competitive, you have to keep dropping prices. And third, growing is insanely expensive. Every new factory, every new battery supply chain, that's a multi-billion-dollar gamble. And you can really see this margin problem in the numbers. The average price of a Tesla has plummeted since 2020. We're talking 25, even 35% for some of their main models. Now, that's great for us as buyers for sure, but for the company, that's a constant squeeze on their ability to make money. So this led to a really stark realization for Musk. If you keep chasing growth in this super crowded EV market, you could hit a point where the cost of that growth is actually more than the profit you make from it. Being a bigger company doesn't automatically mean you're a more profitable one. He needed a new playground, a market that was far, far bigger than cars. And that brings us to the second crisis. And this one isn't just about Tesla. It's a problem facing the entire global economy. It's not a shortage of oil or computer chips or anything like that. It's a shortage of people. What's really critical is how all of these things are hitting at once. In major economies, the US, Europe, Japan, populations are aging fast, which means the workforce is literally shrinking. At the same time, the cost of labor, wages, healthcare, all of it is going through the roof. And on top of that, there's a growing shortage of people who are able and willing to do those skilled, repetitive, physical jobs that actually make our world run. So the bottom line is this. The fundamental engine of our entire economy, human labor, is starting to sputter. And this isn't some temporary blip. It's a huge demographic shift that threatens productivity and growth across the entire globe. And that is the massive problem Musk decided to take on. And that right there is where Musk's big answer comes in. The Optimus humanoid robot. It's designed to be this incredibly elegant solution that tackles both of those crises at the exact same time. For Tesla, it opens up a new, basically unlimited market. And for the world, it offers a potential fix for that crippling labor shortage. And look, Musk himself has been super clear about just how big he thinks this is. This isn't some side project or a hobby. He genuinely believes that the demand for a machine that can do human labor will absolutely dwarf the demand for cars. I mean, to put a number on it, it's just staggering. The global electric car market, that's maybe $1 trillion industry. The theoretical market for humanoid robots, we're talking $10 trillion, maybe more. And why? Because it's not about a niche product. It's about a fundamental ingredient in literally every single business on Earth: labor. Okay, but hold on. It's one thing to say you're going to build a humanoid robot. It is a completely different thing to actually pull it off. So why Tesla? What gives them this unique edge when so many others have tried and failed? Well, the answer comes down to three essential ingredients they've been quietly mastering for years. So if you want to build a real humanoid robot, there are a few things that are totally non-negotiable. You absolutely need an AI brain that can see the world and make decisions. You need incredibly advanced motors to act like muscles and joints. And maybe most important of all, you need a truly massive amount of real-world data to teach that AI how to handle our messy, unpredictable reality. And when you lay out that checklist, it suddenly becomes so obvious. There's really only one company out there that has been developing and deploying all three of these technologies at a massive global scale for the better part of a decade. And yeah, that company is Tesla. Let's just talk about data for a second, because this might be Tesla's ultimate secret weapon. You've got competitors like Waymo with maybe thousands of vehicles out there. Tesla has a fleet of over 6 million cars on the road every single day, just soaking up video of the real world. That isn't a simulation. It's the ultimate training school for an AI that needs to understand reality. And this is where it all just clicks into place. The car was never just a car. It was the perfect Trojan horse for developing a robot. The car's camera system, that becomes the robot's eyes. The full self-driving AI, that becomes the robot's brain. And all the advanced motor tech they perfected for the cars, well, that becomes the robot's muscles. They haven't been building a car. They've been building a robot on wheels this whole time. So what happens when you finally unleash this technology into the world? Well, you don't just get a new product. You get a whole new economic model. Putting a robotic workforce out there isn't just an upgrade. It fundamentally rewrites the rules of cost and productivity that have governed our world for centuries. Just look at this side by side. It makes the business case crystal clear. A human worker needs a salary, benefits, breaks, and they work, 40 hours a week? The Optimus robot has that initial cost, sure, but then it can run 24/7. All it needs is electricity and a little maintenance. And best of all, its productivity actually increases over time with simple software updates. And then you get to the price tag. And honestly, this part is just wild. Musk's target price for one of these robots is under $30,000. That is astonishingly cheap. It's less than a Model 3. At that price, it stops being a question of if businesses will buy them, and it becomes a question of how quickly they can get their hands on them. So you have to completely shift how you think about this. A business isn't going to look at Optimus as just another piece of equipment. They're going to see it as installing a productivity engine. A capital investment that never gets tired, never asks for a raise, and works around the clock, completely changing the economic math of their entire operation. You know, when you step back and put all these pieces together, the massive global need, the one-of-a-kind technology, the insane economics, it's hard to avoid the conclusion. We are not just watching a new product get launched here. We are witnessing the very beginning of a new industrial revolution, the robot era. And in the end, you don't have to take my word for it. Musk said it himself, loud and clear. Tesla isn't a car company. It's an AI robotics company. That one statement completely redefines what this company has been about all along. The car was just phase one. The electric car changed how we move. But this next act, this is about changing how we live, how we work, how we create, everything. It's a bet not just on the future of one company, but on the future of humanity itself. And that revolution has a name: Optimus.